For the Duggar family, cleanliness was more than just a chore, it was a way of life. With 19 children, maintaining order and hygiene in their home required an intense, almost military-like routine. Jinger Duggar, one of the eldest daughters, has openly discussed how cleaning was woven into nearly every aspect of their daily schedule. From the moment they woke up to the time they went to bed, there was always something that needed scrubbing, dusting, or organizing. The sheer size of their household meant that even the most basic tasks took hours to complete. Every morning, the children were assigned specific duties, ranging from vacuuming and mopping to washing dishes and wiping down counters. Nothing was left to chance. Surfaces had to be spotless, floors gleamed, and clothes were meticulously folded and put away. The pressure to keep everything immaculate was immense, especially with cameras constantly rolling for 19 kids and counting. The family's reality show offered viewers a glimpse into their lives, but it also meant that their home had to be picture perfect at all times. There was no room for clutter or messiness, which added another layer of intensity to their already rigorous cleaning schedule. Jinger recalled how exhausting it could be to maintain such high standards, often feeling like they were cleaning like crazy, just to keep up with the demands of both their lifestyle and the show. Despite the challenges, this strict regimen instilled a strong work ethic in the children and emphasized the importance of responsibility and teamwork. Beyond the physical exhaustion, keeping their home pristine presented constant challenges. With so many people living under one roof, messes seemed to appear as quickly as they were cleaned. No matter how diligently the children worked, spills, crumbs, and clutter would inevitably find their way back onto countertops and floors. Jinger recalled how frustrating it could be to clean a room only to return minutes later and find it already out of order. Even the most disciplined routines couldn't prevent the chaos of daily life from creeping in. Another major challenge was the scrutiny that came with being on national television. Viewers expected a level of cleanliness that bordered on unrealistic, and any sign of disorder could lead to criticism. This pressure made even the smallest mess feel like a failure. Jinger admitted that she sometimes felt self-conscious about how their home appeared on camera, knowing that millions of people were watching their every move. The need to maintain perfection extended beyond appearances. It affected their behavior, interactions, and even the way they spoke to one another. Everything had to look seamless, reinforcing the image of a well-ordered, disciplined household. Despite these difficulties, the family found ways to adapt. They developed efficient systems, divided responsibilities among the siblings, and relied on teamwork to get through their never-ending list of chores. Yet, beneath the surface of their polished home lay the reality of constant effort and occasional frustration, revealing just how demanding their lifestyle truly was. To manage the overwhelming task of keeping their home spotless, the Duggar family implemented a highly organized system that maximized efficiency. Each child was assigned specific cleaning duties based on age and capability, ensuring that every area of the house received attention without unnecessary overlap. Younger kids handled simpler tasks like picking up toys and making beds, while older siblings tackled more intensive chores such as vacuuming, deep cleaning bathrooms, and doing laundry. This structured approach not only helped distribute the workload evenly, but also instilled a sense of responsibility in each child. Jinger described how the family functioned like a well-oiled machine, with everyone playing a crucial role in maintaining cleanliness. Some siblings specialized in certain areas like dishwashing or dusting, while others focused on tidying common spaces. This division of labor allowed them to complete tasks quickly and efficiently, preventing any single person from becoming overwhelmed. Additionally, the family followed a rotating schedule to ensure fairness, giving each child experience with different chores over time. Beyond individual assignments, teamwork was essential. When tackling large projects like spring cleaning or preparing for guests, the entire family worked together, turning what could have been a daunting task into a collaborative effort. This emphasis on cooperation not only made cleaning more manageable, but also reinforced valuable lessons about accountability, discipline, and working toward a shared goal. The Duggar family's rigorous cleaning routine did more than just keep their home spotless, it shaped the values and character of each child. Jinger reflected on how these daily chores taught her and her siblings the importance of responsibility, perseverance, and hard work. From a young age, they learned that contributing to the household was not optional, but an expectation, reinforcing the idea that every member of the family played a role in maintaining their shared space. This early exposure to consistent labor instilled a strong work ethic that carried over into other aspects of their lives, from school to extracurricular activities, and eventually into their careers and personal relationships. Teamwork was another fundamental lesson embedded in their cleaning routine. With so many children involved, collaboration was necessary to accomplish tasks efficiently. Jinger recalled how working alongside her siblings fostered communication, problem-solving skills, and mutual support. Whether it was dividing up chores or helping one another finish a particularly difficult cleaning project, the experience reinforced the value of collective effort. These habits stayed with her into adulthood, influencing how she approached responsibilities in her own home and marriage. Even now, Jinger carries forward some of the same principles, emphasizing organization, cleanliness, and shared duties in her daily life. As Jinger transitioned into adulthood, she found herself reevaluating the cleaning habits instilled in her during childhood. While the rigorous routines of her youth had taught her discipline and responsibility, she soon realized that maintaining the same level of perfectionism outside of the spotlight was neither necessary nor sustainable. In her own home, she began adapting her approach to cleaning, striking a balance between the meticulous standards of her upbringing and the realities of independent living. Unlike the Duggar household, where multiple hands worked in unison to keep things spotless, Jinger now managed domestic duties with far fewer people and a more flexible schedule. One of the biggest adjustments was learning to let go of the pressure to have everything immaculate at all times. Without cameras rolling or an audience scrutinizing every corner of her home, she discovered that minor imperfections were not only acceptable but normal. She adopted a more practical mindset, prioritizing cleanliness without obsessing over minute details. Instead of adhering to the rigid schedules of her childhood, she embraced a more spontaneous, needs-based approach to housekeeping. However, she still valued the lessons she had learned growing up, particularly the importance of teamwork and shared responsibilities. Now married, she and her husband worked together to divide chores, applying the cooperative spirit she had developed as part of a large family. Reflecting on her journey, Jinger acknowledges that while the intense cleaning routines of her childhood were exhausting, they ultimately provided her with valuable life skills. The discipline, sense of responsibility, and teamwork she learned continue to serve her well in adulthood. However, she also recognizes the importance of finding balance and adapting those lessons to fit her current lifestyle. Rather than striving for an unattainable standard of perfection, she embraces a more realistic and flexible approach to cleanliness, one that allows for spontaneity, imperfection, and personal growth. Looking ahead, Jinger hopes to pass on the positive aspects of her upbringing to her own future children, while avoiding the pressures that once made household duties feel overwhelming. She envisions a home where cleanliness is maintained through teamwork and shared responsibilities, but without the relentless expectations that defined her childhood. By blending structure with flexibility, she aims to create an environment where her family can thrive without feeling burdened by the weight of constant perfection. Ultimately, Jinger's experiences have taught her that while cleanliness is important, it should never come at the expense of peace, joy, or meaningful connections within a household. After years of being in the public eye, Duggar recently decided to take a significant break from social media, stepping away from the platforms that had long served as her primary connection to fans and followers. This decision came after a period of intense scrutiny and personal challenges, which prompted her to reassess her priorities and seek a more balanced approach to life. For someone who has grown up under the glare of reality television, this hiatus was not merely about disconnecting from digital noise, but also about reclaiming her sense of self beyond the spotlight. The motivations behind her retreat were multifaceted. Primarily, Jill expressed a desire to focus on her family, particularly her children, aiming to create a nurturing environment free from the pressures of constant public attention. She emphasized the importance of being fully present in their lives, prioritizing quality time over online interactions. Additionally, she acknowledged the toll that social media can take on mental health, recognizing the need for self-care and reflection during this pivotal moment in her life. This break allowed Jill to step back and evaluate her journey, both personally and professionally. It offered her an opportunity to reconnect with her values and aspirations, fostering a deeper understanding of what truly matters to her. By choosing to step away, she signaled a commitment to living authentically, embracing a lifestyle that aligns more closely with her family's needs and her own well-being. Ultimately, this hiatus marked a turning point, enabling her to prioritize peace and fulfillment over the demands of fame. During her time away from social media, Jill Duggar dedicated herself to strengthening her relationships with her loved ones, particularly her husband, Derek Dillard, and their growing family. Embracing motherhood once again, she welcomed 2 additional children into their home, expanding their family to 6. The arrival of these new additions brought both joy and responsibility, reinforcing her commitment to providing a stable and loving environment for her children. Away from the pressures of public life, Jill found solace in the everyday moments raising her kids, managing household responsibilities, and enjoying simple pleasures without the distraction of cameras or online expectations. Beyond parenting, Jill focused on deepening her bond with Derek, ensuring that their marriage remained strong amid the business of raising a large family. They prioritized quality time together, whether through shared responsibilities at home or quiet evenings spent talking and reflecting. This period of withdrawal allowed them to grow closer, reinforcing their partnership as they navigated parenthood and personal growth together. Additionally, Jill reconnected with her extended family, including her parents, Jim Bob, and Michelle Duggar, and some of her siblings, finding comfort in the familiar support system that had shaped much of her early life. While stepping away from social media meant limiting her public presence, it also provided Jill with the space to rediscover hobbies and interests outside of the digital realm. She immersed herself in homemaking, cooking, and organizing, taking pride in creating a warm and welcoming home for her family. Without the pressure of maintaining an online persona, she was able to live more authentically, focusing on what truly mattered to her, rather than how her life might be perceived by others. This intentional shift allowed her to cultivate a sense of normalcy and contentment, grounding her in the simplicity of daily life while reaffirming her values and priorities. After months of stepping back from the public eye, Jill Duggar made the decision to return to social media, marking a new chapter in her journey of balancing personal life with public engagement. Her re-entry was thoughtful and deliberate, driven by a desire to reconnect with those who had supported her throughout the years, while maintaining a sense of control over how much of her life she chose to share. Rather than diving back in all at once, she eased into her online presence, carefully curating the type of content she posted and setting boundaries to ensure that her family's privacy remained intact. Jill acknowledged that social media could be both a blessing and a challenge, offering opportunities for connection while also posing risks to mental well-being. With this awareness, she approached her return with a renewed perspective, focusing on authenticity rather than perfection. Instead of sharing every detail of her life, she opted for glimpses into meaningful moments, family milestones, lessons learned from motherhood, and reflections on faith and resilience. This approach allowed her to engage with her audience in a more genuine way, while protecting her family's private moments from unnecessary exposure. One of the most significant changes in her online presence was her willingness to set firm boundaries around criticism and negativity. In past years, she had faced intense scrutiny, often feeling pressured to respond to every comment or defend her choices publicly. However, this time, she took a different stance, choosing to filter out toxic interactions and distance herself from online drama. By doing so, she reclaimed control over her digital experience, ensuring that her time online remained positive and purposeful. Through this transition, Jill demonstrated a matured understanding of the role social media played in her life. She no longer viewed it as a necessity, but rather as a tool, one that she could use intentionally to uplift, inspire, and stay connected without allowing it to dictate her happiness or self-worth. As Jill Duggar re-established her presence online, she inevitably faced renewed scrutiny from both longtime supporters and critics. Her journey over the past few years had been deeply personal, yet public perception often remained tethered to narratives shaped by past controversies. Despite her efforts to move forward with a more measured and intentional approach to social media, she understood that not everyone would view her actions favorably. Some questioned her sincerity, while others revisited past discussions surrounding her upbringing and decisions, reigniting debates that had long surrounded her family. Rather than engaging in public disputes or defending herself against every critique, Jill adopted a more reflective stance. Acknowledging that differing opinions were inevitable in the digital age, she recognized that people formed judgments based on their own experiences and perspectives, and while she could not control how others interpreted her life, she could control how she responded. This mindset allowed her to maintain emotional distance from negativity, focusing instead on staying grounded in her values and the well-being of her family. In interviews and occasional posts, she addressed misconceptions when necessary, but avoided lengthy explanations that might invite further controversy. Instead, she emphasized her personal growth, highlighting the ways in which motherhood, faith, and life experiences had shaped her outlook. By choosing transparency over defensiveness, she conveyed a sense of maturity and self-awareness, signaling that she was no longer defined by past narratives, but rather by her ongoing journey toward authenticity and balance. With her return to social media now underway, Jill Duggar remains steadfast in her commitment to family, personal growth, and intentional living. As a mother of 6, her primary focus continues to be on nurturing her children and fostering a stable, loving home environment. She has spoken openly about the evolving dynamics within her household, emphasizing the importance of patience, adaptability, and open communication as her family grows. Whether guiding her older children through adolescence or adjusting to the unique needs of each new addition, Jill approaches motherhood with a deep sense of responsibility and devotion. Beyond parenting, Jill is also investing time in her personal development, exploring avenues that allow her to grow independently while still honoring her family-centered lifestyle. Though she has stepped back from the structured world of reality television, she remains open to future projects that align with her values and provide meaningful opportunities for self-expression. Whether through writing, advocacy, or creative endeavors, she seeks ways to contribute positively to conversations surrounding faith, family, and personal resilience. Additionally, Jill is committed to maintaining a healthy balance between her public and private life. While she recognizes the value of connecting with others through social media, she is equally determined to protect her family's privacy and emotional well-being. By setting clear boundaries and prioritizing authenticity over image, she aims to navigate the digital landscape with intentionality, ensuring that her online presence remains a source of encouragement rather than stress. As she moves forward, Jill continues to embrace the lessons of the past, while forging a path that reflects her evolving identity both as a mother and as an individual striving for growth and fulfillment.